Hello and welcome to Dell's Gaming. I'm Dell and this is From the Depths designer for which will most probably the final part of our sea carrier upgrade build. So far we have the Airfang, which is going up quite nicely over there. We have the skipper, which is heading over towards us at this moment with his redone paint job. No real major changes there. Although, actually, that looks like that is the wrong version. But anyway, we'll not worry about that at this second. And we have the Y-Bomber from last time. The Y-Bomber, I like it. I do like it. I think it is a little larger than I intended. To be honest, I didn't want it to be quite so many blocks, because that makes it a little slow to bring in. But it's sort of effective, hopefully. I don't know how it will react in the actual campaign, but that's all part of the fun. So, in this episode, what I would like to look at is bringing in a new vessel. And what I'm thinking of at this moment, just as the air skipper gets a little low overhead, I think I will take them out of play in a second or two, just to make it a little easier. So the idea for the final one is more of a general ship, which will basically just attack anything. It's not really worried about what is a specific target. And the other idea is it's going to try and disabilitate a vessel to make either the sea carrier or one of the normal ships to have a better chance at trying to destroy it. And there's a couple of things that I would like to try in this particular idea. One is resurrecting the Piranha idea of a, what should we say, not quite suicidal, but a very aggressively close following aircraft. Yes, hello again. So an aircraft which will get very close, and if it happens to collide with the enemy, then so be it. I'm just going to take out some of these craft just for the moment, because we don't need them in play. They're just going to get in the way a little bit, so we'll just take them out of play. So we're going to get close, and then we're going to use also a few different weapons. And we might, what I'm thinking of, oh, those green boxes are going to be annoying now. Oh well, never mind, eh? What I'm thinking of is possibly creating a general shape, and then maybe creating a few different versions of the same ship, just so that you know, they're not all identical. They're very similar. But the differences will be maybe one's a little faster than another, one might have slightly different weaponry, etc. Also, I want to keep the block count fairly low. So on this, I don't want to get too large a vehicle like I had done, unfortunately, with the Y-Bomber. Y-Bomber is still a nice vehicle, but it's a little large for what I intended. I'm going to move well over here so I'm out of the way of those green boxes, because otherwise they will just really annoy me as I'm building. So we're going to build it over here a little bit. So let's put that first magic block down. So yeah, we're going to try and keep the count down so that these will build relatively quickly. Block count size wise, maybe try and keep it around the 250, somewhere in that sort of region, as a basis. So how are we going to do this? Right, first of all, we're going to need an engine, so let's just start with that, because it's a fairly simple starting point. Some of this is going to start off very similar to the Airfang, in that we're going to start with the engine side, the propulsion and the engine. Now I think we'll just go for a single large jet engine, something like what size? Let's put it there for the moment, and we'll then just put a simple engine on here for the moment, just for some sizing. Let's get our nice simple engine. We haven't got to worry about size on this particular one. We're not trying to make this hyper aerodynamic as such, so it doesn't matter if it's a little wider than previous ones. So I'm just going to keep a fairly simple idea, maybe yeah, go for a slightly wider one. That should do. Some carburetors in here just to keep it all nicely managed and working well. We might as well. Where should we go? Let's put some superchargers in here, something like that. We don't need much power on this, enough to refill the ammo is going to be enough, you know. A little bit more would be handy, but is not 100% necessary. So where are we after that? I can put some more power in this if we need it. That's given us 100. No, well, a little bit more than that. A little bit more than 100 would be good. Yeah, we can go out this way. Why not? As I say, I'm not too worried about the aerodynamics, unlike the I was with the other one, with the Fang. Oh, let's put a carburetor down there. It wasn't obviously. It would have been better if I had used the mirror line. It would have worked out better. Let's put a carburetor in there as well, since we've got some points in there. And you and you, and copy you to there. That looks fairly much similar. And now we have a power of 390 watts. Okay, so we've gone from one stage to the other now. That's most possibly excessive now. Okay, well, we'll leave it for the moment. If it's got a little extra power, we can put that into ammo replenishment or something like that. So that's fine. Okay, we'll go with that. Speed wise, yeah, if I'm not after anything huge. If it gets high speed, that's good for various reasons. Right, weapons. Let's see, what should I do next? No, let's we need a couple of little bits here. Let's just put a fuel storage tank just there, just to ensure that the engine. Oh, actually, you can put it on the top there. I can go there. That'll make sure the engine's got a little bit of oil, just to make sure it will run, which will be good. Oh, we got some other little spots we can use for various things. Okay, well, we can look into that later. AI, yeah, let's put the AI in here somewhere. This will be another fairly open vessel, so there is a chance it will be taken out by the enemy, but, you know, hey ho. Target prioritization. Do I want to prioritize that? No, I don't want to prioritize. I just want it to go. Yeah, I'm not going to prioritize this. Maybe a water start in there. We'll leave it like that, and a wireless transmitter. This is just going to go to effectively whatever's close. It's just going to try and take it out. That'll be good, and that's a good start. Right. I suppose one thing. I'm looking at a couple of weapons effectively for this. I'm going to build an interesting one first, or what I think will be the interesting one, and that will be the, what should we call it? I'm going to call it the Leech. Now, the idea of the Leech is going to be that it gets very close to the enemy, and it's actually going to pull itself in towards the enemy and latch onto it and basically slow it down, upset it, so that other ships can then come along and blast the crap out of it. If it gets close enough to do serious damage, then that will be good. So we're going to start with a centrally mounted missile, and just a single one, because it doesn't need much here. But what we're going to put is some winches. Now, the way that the winches, I believe, work is the more winches you use. Let's just find them down here. We haven't actually, doesn't list it in here, which is annoying. But the more winches you use on the block, the more power it will put into the winching factor as such, if that makes sense. So by putting 3 winches on here, now I'm going to test this out. I could well be wrong, which would be a bit of a problem, but hey ho. Or it's possibly 6 winches on there. So I'm just going to test it. I haven't mucked around. You can tell I'm doing this on the fly. I haven't mucked around enough with this. So that's always the fun. You know, that's fun about this stuff. Because actually I'm going to need an ejector on here rather than putting winches on here. So does the winch actually go onto the controller? Yeah. It could do. It could do. Okay. Let me just check. Well, no. We'll build it and then we'll see what happens. We'll give it some targets. Excuse me. My brain is having a moment on itself. So okay, we need the winches. We need the winches. Now I'm going to put them onto here for the moment, just to see where the actual winch has an effect. Okay, and then our missile. Is going to be short range thruster, standard, fins, couple of fuel tanks. Range wise, we're going to go with an infrared seeker. I think that'll be, we'll go with a single pixel. Let's go with a standard one. I want some, we're not going to put too much on this target prediction. And the fuse here, we're going to need a Harpoon warhead. Where are we? Where are we? Harpoon. And some cable, which doesn't give it much range. So what we're doing, that's 200 meters. So if we put another cable drum on there, that gives us 600 meters. And this fuel is possibly more, let's see, with this size missile with 2 fuel tanks, it's going to have a range of about 1500 meters. So that would give it 700 at the moment, allowing for some room for chasing and things like that. I think that should be fine. So, okay. Warhead delay, yeah, that's fine. We'll reduce that down to 1. Okay, we won't worry about a 1 turn. We're going to have this so it fires at anything within the yeah, let's leave it at 45 in there. We need this at minus 60, that at 60, 60 and 60. So anything effectively in front of it, it will fire. We need to put a weapon controller on this. There we go. And a wireless receiver on there as well. Other bits we might need on this. I haven't put a friend or foe on it. Yeah, really I should do. Which means pinging that back. So there, take that off there, put it on there, put a 6-way in there instead. Oh, come on, get in there, there we go. And we'll find our identify friend and foe, and we can put that on the top, I think. Should be able to. Let's see, we'll put that on... just here. There we go. We'll redo these constraints. I have mucked around with harpoons, but it's been a long time, and I've just frankly I've forgotten. Well, I really shouldn't sort of admit to, but it's true. I'd forgotten how they work. So, hey ho, never mind, eh? That's part of the fun we have here. Never said I was perfect. I just like mucking around with this shit. Right, okay, wireless receiver. There we go. Right, now, also, I'm going to put a normal missile on here as well, which might have, say, EMP or some other way of attacking the ship. And we'll put that down below. So that'll be the second weapon system. So it might be a little bit bigger or something like that. But we'll just see how that goes. So it's going to be a bit more like a regular missile. But we're going to try and make it so that it won't interfere with the Harpoon system. And it's just be a little extra way of getting some... yeah, an EMP sounds like a good plan. Just to get a little bit extra damage against the target. So a fin. I might put a bit more fuel tanks in this one. Yep. We're going to put an EMP in here. And yeah, I might put this one as a single pixel instead. Yeah, how about one turn as well, so that it will turn towards the enemy. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan for that one. See how that goes. A little bit of an EMP as well, because that might just knock out some sort of item on it to basically bring it out of the sky, which is the aim there. Now I'm gonna give this a little bit of extra down the bottom here, I think. And I still haven't put the mirror line on, have I? No. Silly me. Let's make sure I get this lined up. 1, 2. There we go. And a little bit more here. I suppose I should put some in here as well, just to even it up. And then on the front, just in case I do get pulled in nice and close, how about some rams? Just to obviously make it suitable, do we say, on the front for ramming. We'll put some more metal beams. We're going to metal up the front, I think, a little bit, because it's going to be possibly, well, going into things which possibly might object to the invasion of their skin. So if we have something like that, then that might work. That might work. It's going to be interesting to see it working at the very least. So it's not quite as open as the Airfang, but we're not after hyper speed here. Now, so that's some good basics of a weapon system. Now, I would like to actually put something a little bit more in here, but I'll have a think about it. We might change it on some of the other ships. So now what I'm going to do is need to check out these harpoons and then put some bits around the side here. I don't want to go totally without some aesthetics. So let's put some angling here, because I think that's where it's going to be needed on this side to bring it out to that sort of range. So yes, that gets pulled in there. We might need wings, I think, somewhere around here to make it lift. I need to check the centre of gravity once I've filled in the back. I'll see where the centre of the gravity is and then see how many wings it needs to fly. So let's... what else do I need on this? Let me think about this. Nothing amazing. The idea is to make this cheap so that we can produce lots of them. It's going to zerg it, basically. And they will support each other to a degree. They're not going to be heavily defensed. Oh, English. Anybody have thought it's my first language? They won't be highly defensive. They will, as you can see, I'm putting some metal in there on the sides, at least to soak up a bit of damage. But most of their items just going to be, they'll heal each other, so that we're going to put bots and healing tentacles on these ships. Just that they'll heal each other is possibly how they're going to keep themselves going, rather than necessarily lots of armor or something like that. We'll see how that sort of pans out. I'm not sure exactly how that will work yet, but we'll find out as we go along. So, okay, how far have we got? I'm trying to visualize here how I want this to look. I don't want just a repeat of the airframe. I'd like something a little different. Obviously, at the front, we're a bit, not limited, but there is this sort of shape on the front it needs. That there, so these winches, and as I say, I'll check to see whether the winches go here or on the 6-way connectors, or whether they go onto the controller itself. I thought they were like the ejectors, but no, I want that to release below. No limit. Release after time. No, I want you to stay latched on. So once you are latched on, I want you to stay. I'm just checking if there's any sign in these of what they should be doing. I do know the more winches you have connected, the more powerful the pull. So we'll see how that goes. So at the moment, I mean, this isn't going to fly, although I've said that before and be surprised. No, it's got a slight downward tint, which is to be expected. And we will need some tailplanes on the back, just to give it some directional there. We will need some ailerons, but I'll put them onto the wings. Wings. Can I do something a little? I did the swing wing last time. But ding ding ding. I think I'll go for a slightly more standard wing on this one. Let's put the mirror line on now. I'm definitely going to put the mirror line on. There we go. Mirror line is definitely on. Right. Well, yeah, we'll do it about this level maybe. Nothing too massive. We'll see how this stacks up. So fairly standard. Although I don't know. How about bringing it back a little bit further? Normally you don't want it. No. Normally convention says you want it not too much behind the center of gravity. So that's a fairly standard design, and that's actually enough to give me a little bit of lift. Actually, more lift than I expected. That's a not inconsiderable amount of lift. Okay. We'll put some ailerons here so we have some roll support. Yeah, that lifted better than expected. So let's get rid of that one there. And whoops, wrong bit. Put a little bit more wing on there at the rear. Is that? I mean, I haven't actually finished on this yet. Obviously, it's a little bit all over the place. Wee! Yeah, puppy. I can possibly cure some of that. That's fine. It's sort of flying, in some sort of fashion. Okay, let me finish off this hull, and at the same time, I'm going to try and come up with an idea of how this wants to look. And I will be back in a minute with whatever the next stage is. So see you shortly. And welcome back. And completed what I think is a good starting point for the Leech. I've put a load of spikes on this because it does collide with the enemy vehicle, so the spikes give it a little bit of chance to not totally and utterly destroy itself and do a little bit of damage when it's up and close. So quite simply, if we just turn the AI on, it does hold, it's a bit erratic in its flying, does hold a reasonable altitude. If it goes in the water, which it may well here, yeah, it has a balloon deployment to get it out of the water. Erratic flying is part of it, not really a problem. The intention is for it to be erratic. It's got a reasonable speed, nothing amazingly amazing for it, but enough just to catch up with a lot of targets. I have sorted out the Harpoon, so we've still got the Harpoon. I have added a little HE to this missile underneath, so at least it can do some damage other than its ramming damage, etc. It sort of turns, keeps altitude, doesn't go into space too often, but really what we want to see is what's it like in combat. So we're going to do it based upon the sea carrier. Now, one, I'm going to say simple thing, is this is designed to work in force. You won't have one of these, you'll have 6 or 8 or so of these attacking it, and the intention is to disable any other ship so that the sea carrier or some other spawned vessel can actually attack it. So let's give it a target, and we will go for the lightning hoods. Let's try something reasonable. Let's go for, how about this, let's see what we got, something, Teravolt? Let's try the Teravolt, see how we go against that. So there's the Teravolt has been spawned. So first of all, our sea carrier is going to go against it. Now, because the Teravolt is quite large, it is spawning in one of the large bombers, but you can see that the up here we have one of the first to be spawned in. One of the air leeches is being spawned in and will be attacking the target. So he's off, and now another one is going to be spawned in. So the sea carrier is now responding to this attack with a number of these sea carriers, sorry, the air leeches, as they get actually repaired. That's going to just collide with our own ship. Oh well, such is life. Once they're 100% pulled up into combat, let's just make sure everything is looking okay. Yeah, they are coming on once they have started to heal, and let's see what's coming up. So there we've got it has attached a harpoon. 2 harpoons have been attached to this, which starts to aggravate it, and you can see that's pulling it apart, and the missiles are also doing some damage to it as well, which is good. And there we got a nice collision. Oh yes, that's what we want to see. And now that it's in with all those rams on the front, it didn't do too much damage to itself, and because it's got some rams underneath and on the top, it will, you know, as these move around and try and get away, it will just keep it in place so all the missiles can continue to attack it, which is quite interesting really, and it was part of the idea. Yes, our own ships get attacked by this, but they're cheap. As it's happened out, it's worked out 204 blocks, which means they get repaired relatively quickly. They heal themselves, as well as obviously the main ship will heal them as well. So now that ship has been brought in, one of them looks like it's got totally wasted, which does happen. Right, we'll bring something else in. Let's try a plane just to see how it goes. We won't go too mad. Something with a bit of speed, but not too mad a speed. Caspian, possibly. Yeah, let's try Caspian, because it was an interesting and an Ieaptus. We'll try those two, because that could be something we go against. So Again, we have some harpoons being fired out. We'll see how they do and see if they can catch on to the vessel. Harpoons heading towards it. And don't forget, the harpoons just got to connect. Okay, they didn't harpoon on that first pass, but the beauty is they will turn around and they'll give it another go. Where's the Caspian? And there's the Caspian as well. They're going to be going for 2. So I did put some identify friend or foe, because I thought there's no point in these trying to capture each other, because that would be just bad idea in general. Oh, there we go. One of them has got himself onto the Caspian. That's 2 onto the Caspian. And he's pulling himself down into it. So this could be a nice collision coming up here. So he seems to be pulling himself in quite nicely and going for it. Go for it. Go for it. He's definitely just missed it. And we've got also the other one has had some harpoons taken into it. But yeah, we did get a nice collision in the back. Very nice. So, I mean, ultimately, that's going to hamper him. He's so close. The weapons on the Caspian just are having no effect. But he's also going to be upsetting any type of movement that ship takes. And the Ieaptus has also been taken out of the air. Either with some EMP or just the harpoons. So now missiles and other shots from the sea carrier can now do their business, because he's just basically static in the air. This one's actually going for a shot into both of them at the same time. This will be interesting. So this has got a whole load. He's being tipped up. We haven't had any more real close encounters just yet. And we've even got some of the big bombs from the big bomber coming in as well. So the big bomber's having a go, is dropping his missiles in on this Caspian as well. So it's slowed it up so that our bomber can do some significant bomb damage. So, which is the whole idea. I wouldn't say the whole idea, but is the idea. These are working. Oh, it does unfortunately look like one of our guys did capture one of our own ships, which is not the idea. Unfortunately, that was a bad one. Well, shit happens on occasionally. That's going to be a little unusual for those two to try and sort themselves out. I think if that happens, it shouldn't have with the IFF. Where's it gone to? There we are. It shouldn't have, but they obviously are deciding to do the mating dance. We don't have an air. They are very similar, so maybe he's a bit of a horny devil now, you see. So yeah, it's possible they've just got the urge going for them. Oh, he's got away. It does time out eventually with the harpoons. Supposed to be 60 seconds, I guess. So okay, that's worked. Okay, we've taken damage on some of ours, but I'm liking that. I think this could be quite interesting to see them coming ramming in and harpooning the enemy. I'm well up for this. It's quite interesting, which is also an important factor. What's happened to our carrier? Our carrier got a little bit damaged, possibly spawning something in. Not sure exactly what happened there, but it took some damage in some way. But is repairing itself, so that's fine. Possibly one of those ships may have actually crashed into it, but it'll be okay in a little while. Okay, perfect. Right, we'll see how this works again in the campaign against the Lightning Hoods. See if it can actually do the damage it would like to. I'll still bring in some other ships, some of the other normal aircraft as well, the air harriers and other ships, to do the damage on these vessels, even though they have been harpooned. But all in all, happy with what we've got so far. I think that will work. It's a little unusual, but in general it could be quite good fun. Had some responses about the next epic battleship, but it's going to be a few episodes before I get round to doing that, because I'm going to have a little bit of thinking around that, but keep the ideas coming along. But until next time, leave any comments below about anything that looks unusual. I have been thinking that maybe I should do some piranhas as well, so one of the ones, instead of it just doing aircraft, it might drop into the sea a piranha or two as well. So but I might have to do a bit of reworking on those, but generally it's fun. That's the important bit. So keep building things, still have fun designing and building and battling in unusual ways, but until next time, make sure you have fun.